everyone, brand new yoke from Tesstudio. Check this sucker out. This is the V2, obviously white Nappa leather. You can get this in black, you can get this in Alcantara, you can get the white center airbag cover if you'd like. I don't know, it looks pretty good here in black. This is my buddy's Juniper. Looks great in here. This thing is super sharp. We'll do a size comparison. This thing is a little bit smaller than a normal yoke, and you know what? I like it. I like having it a little bit smaller. It doesn't cut down and get into your way as much as the other yokes do. It's also just compact. It's just nice and neat, more minimalist. If you've got a screen, I mean, look at the view now. Nothing is blocking you. These screens are generally better than the other ones that are mounted up a little bit higher, but wherever you have this screen now, nothing is blocking your view. I love this thing. Yeah, super sharp. All the links are below. Use the discount code TESLAMARK. It will save you the most amount of money, and it works in all the best places. So I go through a full install. You do have to take everything from your OEM steering wheel out, put it in the new one. Not that big of a deal. It does take some time, not that big of a deal. Again, I go through all of the steps. This one is the same basically as all of the other OEM. When you buy a new yoke, you take everything out of the OEM. It's pretty much the same. So I'm going to be using a lot of that old video that I did. I just did a previous video on it. All of that installation, or 99% of the installation, is the same. So yeah, this goes in, not that big of a deal. Let's take a closer look at this thing right now. You can see no flaws. I'm not finding any flaws in this Nappa here at all, like nothing. It looks fantastic. Feels OEM, looks OEM, without the OEM price. This thing looks great. Ooh, whole different driving experience too. I don't know what it is, but you take the top of this wheel off and just everything looks better. All right, so what are you gonna need for the install? Torque wrench. You're gonna torque the new steering wheel down to like 59 foot-pounds. So you need one that can handle 59 foot-pounds, which is kind of like all of them. To get the old steering wheel off, you're gonna need either a long ratchet like this, which is, I don't know, some kind of 18-incher, or maybe some kind of a pipe extension or something for your existing, or if you have a smaller ratchet. You will need a 10mm Allen socket. You're not going to be able to do it with just an Allen wrench. You're going to need a socket like this and some kind of an extension to be able to reach into the steering wheel. That's a fairly big Allen socket. A couple screwdrivers just to pry some things. You'll see, no big deal. Torques. There's a bunch of torques in here to change things out. This is a and this little guy is a T6. So yeah, to swap out all the controls in the steering wheel, you're going to need a bunch of these torques. But otherwise, the install is not difficult. It's just, you know, just got to change a bunch of things out. No big deal. All right, step one, I am in the safety menu, power off. Let's get in here. Pushing in, nothing happening. Can feel the tabs. There we go. So that side's out. And this side's out. Alright, so here are the posts I was talking about that were being held in by those tabs, and now I need to unplug this yellow plug. right, so we've got to take everything off of your existing steering wheel and put it on the new one. Check this thing out. Before we do that, let's take a look at the size. Now, I've got a number of accessories, let's call them, on the steering wheel. Obviously, a bunch of carbon fiber things. Here, these are just kind of like strap-on deals. These are just extra overlays. All of this is real carbon fiber, though. All of this is really going to get transferred over to the new wheel, except for these pieces here. I've got links to videos where you can look at these things a little bit closer if you'd like. All right, first let's get these guys off. These are T20s, Torx bits. Okay, next we pry this out. All right, this is real small. This is a Torx 9, T9. Recommend getting something like this, magnetic tray. That sucker just dropped right out. Okay, next we're going to take these out. These are T30 Torx bits again. Unplug this. Okay, remove this guy, T20. Okay, and then there's some real small screws here again, T9s. All right, I already took this one out of the clip here, but this comes out there, and see, much of this comes apart. What is holding on here? Oh, okay, not much. All right, we have a few more of these T9s. I see them here, here. Unplug these. Okay, these need to be unplugged, and a little bump there grabs in there, so I just put a very slim screwdriver in there and pulled it out. This side here. Okay, wow, stripped. Now all we have to do is put everything back. We'll start right where we left off. Okay, so I'm going to start with this side, and basically I'm just lining up the screw holes here, and you kind of have to push it a little bit just because the leather isn't formed yet. Okay, and then this goes here. Now, both of these are T9s, but they are different sizes. The threads are more coarse on this one, and it's a little bit shorter. And the coarse threads are the first ones we use. They're for these, this, and this. You know what? I'm going to put the screws in here first. Looking good so far. I'm going to put this in first just because it'll be easier to do before we put that cover back on. All right, let's plug these guys in now. May as well. And they get clipped into here to hold on to them. Okay, so this wire has to be routed back around here like this and come through here. Same with this side here. Otherwise, this won't go on. I could keep it together. Things are lined up pretty well. So, put these back on. Okay, looking good. Now we can tuck these wires back kind of into the sides here, into these channels. There we go, tuck everything in there nicely. Just connector to plug back in. Now I think we're set. All right, there's not much difference between this V2 more like narrow steering yoke than the other ones, except for this piece here. You have to obviously use this piece that they give you, as well as this down here. They both bolt in the same way as the other one did, the factory OEM one. The only issue that I am having, however, is the center screw here. This piece just like doesn't line up at all. The others lined up pretty well, so it's really doesn't. That center one really doesn't matter that much. And then this here, this doesn't stay in, and the screws are down here. So tightening this more, lining this, this doesn't matter. This doesn't affect how this is. This is just kind of the wrong size, wrong shape. Neither of these fit in. We're thinking about gluing this down, but now I'm going to try, when I put all this back together, the airbag may just fit and cover this. Other than that, this has a little bit more slack in it, this cable, but just ran everything down there, ran it down the side, no issue there. And yeah, everything just goes back just like any other yoke and any other part of the video that I've had in here. So, all right, let's get it on the car. All right, this is it. It's going in, man. It's exciting. All right, now, there are a couple keys in here, so you can't put this on the wrong way. On top of that, you got to line it up with the plugs in there. So it doesn't feel like it's in all the way, but when we tighten this bolt back up, I think it'll push it in the rest of the way. And let's make sure that this is off again too, before I start plugging everything back in. Every time you get out and back in the car and sit down, it turns everything back on. Wrench spec is 59 foot-pounds. Is that 80 Newton meters, if I remember? Okay. There we go. 59, all right. Now we are done with that. And all we have to do now is plug this back in.
plug.